Welcome to the Sooners 360 Daily Recruiting Update from the podcast all about OU football recruiting. This episode is sponsored by Sooners 360 on Patreon. To support Sooners 360, please go to patreon.com, use the search feature, and type in Sooners 360. Follow the search results and click subscribe. There's a free trial option, and after that, it's only $2 a month. Also, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you've not already done so. Subscriber numbers greatly help my channel with the YouTube algorithms. It's the number one metric they look at to push my content in front of new viewers. So that's why you hear content creators of all sizes and kinds kind of harping on that issue. So if you have not subscribed and you're enjoying this content, please subscribe. Helps keep this content going. If you're listening to the audio version, please subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And if you're enjoying our content, please leave a rating. So this is Tuesday, August 11th. We're back looking at some wide receivers for 2028. So we're going to look at two new names to watch at wide receiver. So the wide receiver group for 2028 is probably going to be 4 wide receivers, especially if OU stands pat in 2027, which I don't anticipate OU doing, but it's always a possibility. Things just don't break the Sooners' way with the targets that they would prefer. We have 2 predictions already in for OU. Carson Lacombe from San Antonio, who we've featured before and had a great OU summer camp. Just a really good, big receiver. And then a receiver we talked about recently, Dedrick Kimbrough, who's gotten a number of predictions, crystal balls from guys on the Rivals Network. And he's also a bigger receiver. He's like 6'2", 6'3", 190 pounds, probably will be 200 plus easy in college. And then we've got probably one strong lean right now, at least based upon prior info we have, and that's Barron Marshall from Kansas City, who's also a bigger receiver, 6'2", probably 6'2", 6'3", 190 pounds. And those 3 guys would obviously complement the slot receivers that OU was looking at in 2027 in Graydon Howell and Milan Green. And the flip candidates I showed you also were very slot receiver-like. So if you could get all 3 of those wide receivers, or you needed a 4th wide receiver, kind of a speed guy, a slot guy would make a lot of sense. That's why on the top 20 for 28, which I featured last night on Recruit Intel, which is available on replay on my YouTube channel. And I'll also have that available as an audio podcast later today. I chose Kingston McPike, who was a slot receiver from St. Louis, who missed his sophomore year, but dominated the OU summer camp and got an offer. So that's kind of the guy I think maybe leaning to OU, but there's 2 names here that definitely added to the mix in terms of the slot speed guys. So the first guy is Kenyon Sweat. He is from Cache, Oklahoma, listed at 6'2", 175. He's reporting a 4.35 time at ISU camp. That's on his Twitter profile. He's saying he's got an 11 feet broad jump. For those wondering where Cache is, I had to look. It is west of Lawton, so it is in western Oklahoma. He's just gotten an Oklahoma State offer. His film is starting to get out there. I'll have to admit I had not really heard of Kenyon until he was mentioned on the Sooner Scoop YouTube recruiting report. He's getting some publicity. He's starting to get offers, and I think he'll probably, based upon his film, I think that offer group will probably expand. Here's the rankings for him. Somehow 247 has heard of Kenyon when Rivals and ESPN have not. They have him as the number 8 player in the state of Oklahoma. That sounds about right, although I think he possibly has top 5 in-state potential. some in the group of players kind of currently clustered behind Camion Compton-Nero and Connor Arendt. He might be the best receiver in the state of Oklahoma. David Thomas, who had quite a bit of publicity after his freshman year, from Stillwater, has moved to Tennessee. He's playing at like an academy at Tennessee, a player to keep an eye on, but his sophomore film, according to old reports, was just not as good. So something to pay attention there. So on a different topic, but let's take a look at Kenyon Sweat's video highlights from his sophomore year. Okay, he's in the slot position here. They put him in motion instead of a jet sweep. He breaks a tackle, and he's going to reverse field and go the other direction. This play started on the 38-yard line, and he's going to take it all the way to the end zone. He's got good speed. He's got good agility from that highlight. He's in the backfield here, and they're going to just give him a handout. He's going to cut and then cut up the middle and blaze through the defense for like a 62-yard touchdown run. I mean, it's good speed, good agility. He's at wide receiver on the left side here, near the sideline. He's going to kind of do a stop, and they're going to try and run a tunnel, kind of a screen for him. He breaks 3 tackles, and once he's in the open field, he has too much speed for anybody he's playing, or at least that's the way it looks right now from his highlights. He's in the slot on the right-hand side. Again, they're going to throw like a quick wide receiver screen to him, and he just runs to the right, finds a hole in the defense, and blazes through the opposing defense. Again, he's in the slot here, and they're gonna the play gets blown up, and he does a nice job reading that the quarterback needs some help, and moves to an open spot on the sideline and takes the ball for about 40 yards. He's on the slot on the left-hand side this time. They're at the 30. They're going to throw a quick wide receiver screen. He breaks a tackle and hits the sideline and blazes into the end zone. Again, he's playing a slot receiver position here, and he's going to go streaking down the middle of the field. Catches a nice pass in traffic. He had to wait on the ball. So nice play there. In this highlight, he's playing, they're playing DB. He's playing DB. Gets a pick. Again, he's on the slot in the left-hand side. On the left-hand side, they're going 4 wide. And again, they're throwing him a quick screen, and short press in the middle, and he takes it for about 5 yards. Not a great highlight. The other DB play, he intercepts the ball in the end zone. Slot receiver to the left. Again, they're throwing that quick screen to a slot receiver. He breaks multiple tackles, hits the burners, and is able to, what should have been like a 4-yard loss, he turns into about a 20-yard gain. He's sort of playing cornerback here, does a nice job coming up and making a tackle. They might actually have him safety. They're at the 15-yard line. He's in the slot. He's going to go across the formation, receive a pass, and just blaze into the end zone. So the first thing is the level of competition is the question, but his speed looks just elite. I mean, this is a handoff to the left-hand side. He breaks the tackle and turns nothing play in about 20 yards. He's in slot. They put him in motion, give him the ball, and he's makes about a 7-yard play out of nothing. This is a kickoff return. He gets the ball at like the 28, near the right-hand side, near the right hash, and then he reverses field, takes it all the way to the sideline, and they're going to tackle him at like the 40. So there's a lot to like here. There's a lot of speed. There is a lot of he breaks tackles. He's got good agility. I'd buy he's 6'2", 175, and I think I even buy the sub 4.4 time. His junior year film, it will again be interesting to watch. He doesn't have an OU offer yet at this point on the calendar. I think if you're OU, you invite him into invite him for a home game coming up, one of the early home games in September. You wait for some junior film, and then you make the offer. Then get a feel for because the kid hasn't been at OU summer camps, as far as I know. I don't see any data indicating that. And OU didn't visit him when they were doing their travels in April. So I think you'd like to get him on campus, size him up, have him, allow him to do the unofficial visit thing, and then see where you are in terms of making an offer. But like I said, Oklahoma State has already offered. I imagine we'll see some other offers from the Big 12 easily. I could see TCU, Kansas State, programs like that. I could see Tennessee offers a lot of Oklahoma kids. They offered King Underwood already, who we talked about previously. I could see a Tennessee offer happening. He's just there's a lot to like here. There's a lot of potential. So where's his top end potential? I think it's probably something like a low 4-star top 300. Obviously, his junior film could change that completely, but an under-radar in-state prospect to watch, definitely. So there's some nice highlights, and of the highlights there are highlights. So to be a little cliche there. So all right, the second player who's talking about OU, he's got a slightly bigger profile. He's at least ranked by all three services. He is Darren Tubs. DJ Tubs. He's from St. John Bosco. That's where OU got Daniel Odom. He's 5'11", 175 pounds. He's reporting a 4.39 40 time. I'm presuming that's electronic because that's awfully specific for a handheld time. And he's talking about OU, UCLA, Cal, Notre Dame, Miami, and Missouri being on his radar. Rankings-wise, he's a high 3, mid 3. I think he probably is closer on 247. The in-state ranking of 40 and 47 is interesting. That probably should put him closer to 4 stars based upon my rule of thumb about top 100s in states like California, Texas, and Florida. But he is a 3-star on all 3 services. That list of teams pushing for him. You add Cal, UCLA, Missouri. Okay. A mid 3-star makes a lot of sense there. But the Miami, OU, and Notre Dame offers, that puts that ranking a little bit in doubt in my mind. So let's look at his video and see what we think. Okay, he's in the slot to the right, streaking down the center of the field. Nice separation, nice ball delivery, and he takes it for a touchdown. How far was that? That was a 78-yard touchdown. I mean, he just blows by the middle defender, and he's got like a 4-yard gap, taking that ball all the way in the end zone. Looks a little bigger than 5'11" on that highlight. That might just be, you never know. He's in the slot to the left-hand side here. Does a nice move inside. Good play by the quarterback finding him, and he basically takes it from the middle of the field, works it to the sideline, and takes it into the end zone. This is St. John Bosco. This is good competition, guys. Again, from the slot, he streaks down in the middle of the field to the left hash, gets hit for a long touchdown pass. Again, he's finding stuff. He's an outside receiver on this play from like the 35-yard line. Moves into the middle of the field, breaks a couple of tackles, spins out, and runs into the end zone. Nice play. He's on the right-hand side in kind of a staggered wide receiver formation. They're going to try and hit kind of like a tunnel screen here. He does a good job with his agility and speed, taking it to the sideline and taking it in for a touchdown. Did a good job with his agility in terms of moving, motion while, going at high speed. This is a punt return from the 35-yard line. Streaks up the middle, kind of escapes the tackle, hits the sideline, and good blocking allows him to walk into the end zone with a pretty easy punt return touchdown. Putting him in motion here from left to right, and he's streaking down the right hash, does a nice job avoiding DBs, and gets an extra 35 yards out of that play. That was contested, but he found a way to get some separation and make a catch in serious traffic. This is on. He was on the left hand. He was the outside receiver on the left side. Again, his rack yards are very impressive here. Good agility, good speed. He's hard to get a hold of. His nice block here on somebody else's play. Okay. All right, he's at the slot on the right-hand side, working the middle of the field, gets the ball. And again, more rack yards, working through some guys. He picks up a good 9 yards after contact. So he's probably a muscled up, kind of like 5'11", 180, I would say, maybe, something like that. Quarterback breaks out of the pocket, needs help, finds him on the sideline. He makes a fantastic pinpoint catch on the sideline, getting his feet down. He's on the right-hand side, streaking in the end zone. They find him on a slant for a touchdown. He's on the left-hand side. He's kind of the outside receiver. Instead of the goal line, they throw him a pass, and he's able to muscle his way, I think, right at the 1 yard line. He's at the slot on the right-hand side. They put him in motion, and they throw kind of a funky screen pass to him. He breaks a tackle and makes about a 20-yard play. So that's DJ Tubs. Darren Tubs, again, there's a lot to like here. I think he's maybe a little bit underrated, but it's, with wide receivers, as I've always mentioned, there's just so much talent there. It's hard to know if someone's underappreciated or just the right amount of appreciated. So from that perspective, I wonder if I'd like to see OU continue staying involved with him. Again, if it's easier to recruit Cache, Oklahoma, than it is St. John Bosco. So if these guys are in competition for one spot, that will be interesting to see, especially once I get some Kingston McPike footage this fall. But definitely, it looks like OU's going for some big receivers, but they do want one. They do want one speed guy in this class. So thanks everyone for listening. And like I said, Recruit Intel is available on YouTube, and we'll be on podcast platforms by tonight. And I also did an interesting episode yesterday. If you missed the daily recruiting update yesterday, I did a report. It's titled, So You're Saying There's a Chance. I talked about a bunch of players, some that I think OU is basically out on, not really relevant to the OU recruiting story for 2028. And then a group of players, a lot of them very talented, that I think OU is still has a chance. They're lurking in like the third or fourth spot. Just all very much dependent upon if they can get some visits this fall. So I think you'd like the episode. A lot of good content in there. So thanks, everyone.